Okay, so we're going to talk about medians and centroids today. So a median is a segment joining a vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. So this is a median. Let me go ahead and put that in like green. This is our median, okay? So it cuts this side in half, this red side. It cuts that in half, okay, and then connects us to the vertex. So we've learned a new center now. We call that a centroid, and it's created by medians. So remember, we've learned circumcenters, and you remember those are created by perpendicular bisectors. And then we've learned incenters, and those were created by angle bisectors. Okay, and now we've learned centroids, and they're created by medians. So the three medians in a triangle intersect at the point called the centroid. So now this is what we call a centroid. Okay, so the medians in this triangle are AE, BF, and CD. So I will put those in green. So AE, BF, and CD. So the medians are in green. Okay. The centroid is P. Okay, and I have that in black over there. Now, what properties exist in medians? So this is a little different. Okay, this is a little bit harder. So each median has like a bigger piece and a smaller piece. Okay, so let's look at AE here. Okay, the bigger piece is AP. Okay, so we know that AP, okay, equals 2/3 of the whole thing. Okay, so you see that this is the bigger piece, it's 2/3 of the whole. Well, that means the smaller piece, PE, is 1/3 of the whole. Now, the relationship between the two pieces also exists. So AP equals 2 times the small, okay? And PE is half of the bigger one, okay? So sometimes I like to think of this as the big is 2/3 of the whole, the small is 1/3 of the whole, okay? The bigger equals 2 times the smaller, and the smaller equals half the bigger, okay? So here we go, let's practice. If P is the centroid of this triangle, we know JK, I'm going to make that green, okay? JK is 22, that's the whole side, okay? KN is 13, let's make that red. KN is 13, and OL is 18. And I want to find the measures. So this one's just with the size. So KM is going to be half of the whole thing, so 11, because by the property up here, right, it splits our sides in half. That's what the median does. Okay? NL, okay, well, if this is 13, these are congruent, so NL is 13. Okay. KL, the whole thing is 26. JO is 18. JL is 36. All right? Okay, 2. If Z is the centroid of triangle TUV, TZ is 60. That is 60. XZ is 28. Do that in red. So XZ is 28. Okay. And then we have WZ. Put that in yellow. Okay, that's 25. Cool. All right, so we want ZV. Okay, so ZV is the bigger of XV. Okay, well, since we know XZ, okay, the smaller of these two, okay, we would just have to double 28, and that gives me 56, okay, because ZV is equal to, so ZV is equal to 2 times XZ, since it's smaller, okay? All right, ZY, so we want the smaller one of TY, right? So if the bigger one's 60, the smaller one is just going to be half of that. Okay. ZU is the bigger of these two, so it's just double. TY, so we want the whole thing. Well, we know TZ, okay, is 60. We know ZY is 30, so the whole thing is 90. Okay, so again, this was 60 plus 30 because it's TZ plus ZY. Okay, and then XV is this whole thing, right? Well, XZ is 28. Okay, ZV is 56, so the whole thing is 84. Okay. All right, so G is the centroid of triangle ACE. AG is 8. AG is 8. And GF is 7. And BG is 5. Okay, so here we go. We want GD. Well, it's the smaller. We have the bigger one, right? This is the smaller one, so it's just 4. Okay. AD, that's the whole thing. Well, if AG is 8 and we just found GD is 4, that's 12. Okay. CG, this guy. Well, the smaller one's 7, so the bigger one's just 14. GE is the bigger of these two. Okay, so that means it's going to be 10. And then BE is the whole thing. Well, we know BG is 5. We just found GE is 10, and we know BE is just the addition of BG plus GE, right? So it's going to be 5 plus 10, which is 15. Okay? 4. X is the centroid of RST. TU is 27. Okay, so that's the whole thing. Okay, so my whole thing is 27. SW, whole thing, different color. SW is 18. And RV is 21. Okay. So we want TX. So if you look, TX is the bigger of the whole thing. Okay. So 27 is my whole. Okay. If TX is the bigger, I have to multiply it by 2/3, okay? So using your calculator, what you would do here, okay, is you would do 27 times parenthesis, or times 2, times 2, enter, then divide it by 3, which is just 18. So TX is 18, okay? All right. XU is the smaller, okay? But we don't have to worry about that because if we found this is 18 and this is 27, we just do 27 minus 18, you know, we get 9. So use what you got, okay? SX, that's the bigger, okay? So 18 times 2 divided by 3 gives me 12, okay? So again, SX was the bigger, so it's 2/3 of the whole thing. Okay, XW is the smaller. And we know the bigger is 18, or the whole thing's 18, the bigger is 12, so we just do 18 minus 12, and that gives us 6, okay? Then RX, okay, is the bigger of the whole, so it's going to be 21 times 2 divided by 3, and that gives me 14, okay? All right. So then we need to talk about altitudes. Now, these don't have measurements, but we will construct them. So we do need to know that orthocenters are created by altitude. They don't have any measurement properties. So it's a segment joining the vertex, okay, to the opposite side that is perpendicular to the side. So altitudes can be inside or outside of the triangle, okay? So this is an acute triangle, so our altitude is inside, okay? In an obtuse triangle, our altitude would be outside, okay? And in a right triangle, our altitude is the side, okay? So an orthocenter is created by altitudes, okay? And so here our altitudes are going to be AE, BF, and CD. And our orthocenter is just